Hey there, hi there, ho there. It's Zach, and today I want to talk about my physique, baby. So before we get started, I just want you guys to check out my Patreon. I have a ton of programs up there, including a new program that I put up based off of this video that you're watching right now. We will discuss that program and how it can benefit you. But first, again, let's talk about these shredded abs and this unbelievable physique that everyone is trying to attain. No, seriously, you guys obviously saw the thumbnail. Alex did a good job with it. I don't look like that. At the time, I actually looked like this.
They're the same picture.
At that time, I was trying to cut weight to make the super heavy weight class for IBJJF, which is the overarching federation of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The weight class was 221 pounds with the gi on, and the gi is like the samurai cosplay or, pajamas that we wear. It's very weird, but it is what it is. And I was at my lightest in a long time there, so I actually weighed 217 in that picture. Arms are small, everything's small, but that's how it is. Jiu-jitsu is a non-strength sport, and my pursuit of it has definitely had me stray from pursuit of strength at the same time. I went from a relatively weak compared to the guys at my level with my total in weightlifting, weak, strength. So my best back squat was 230 kilos, which for guys at my weight class when I was competing was pretty low. My best deadlift was actually up there, 280 kilos. My bench press was 143 kilos. It was the same as my snatch, which is 143 kilos. Best clean and jerk, 176. Best clean, 180. So like I said, I was decently weak, but when I switched over to jiu-jitsu, I was the strongest in the room by far. And it didn't really help me out at all. So that's where the whole physique change and programming change came into play. And the programming changes that I made for myself, I also made for the competitive jiu-jitsu players that I now train. Basically, they train me on the mats and I train them in the gym. It's a great little system, but I want to share what I've learned from training them and training myself with you guys, because a lot of this can be transferred to you. But before we get into that, this, by the way, is my physique right now. So I think this is the leanest I've been with the most amount of muscle mass for the amount of leanness I am. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel really good. I feel really good on the mats. I kind of like the way I look, but, typically there's a bunch of comments either saying I look too skinny, too fat, I'm weak, and I'm strong at the same time. I get those comments quite a bit, but I feel really good. So now let's talk about the changes that I've made in my training and the competitors. So first things first, when you are involved in other athletic endeavors, or really if you're just like working hard at a 9 to 5, you do hard labor, or you could honestly just be sitting at a desk, there's two things you need to think of: recovery and then mental acuity. And mental acuity is so underrated, but it's something that I've really, really realized is an important thing to pay attention to when I am working with these athletes. As an example, one of the guys I train, Andrew Tackett, he's 18 years old. So my goal with him is just to get him generally stronger and to put on as much muscle mass as possible. However, his training schedule is insane. He'll wake up, he'll go to the mats, do drilling for about an hour, he'll come do weights, then he'll go and actually train for 2 hours, then he'll go home, sleep, eat, and then go back to training for another 2 hours. That's over 5 hours of training per day. So when he gets to me, I don't have the luxury of just like throwing a bunch of different exercises at him. And the rest of the guys too. I don't have that luxury of just being like, hey guys, here's a new movement. Okay, you did a couple sets there. Let's warm up another movement. Let's do a couple sets there. Let's warm up another movement, and so on and so forth. What I try to do is focus on that mental acuity. And this is an idea that you should take and you should run with. Find a worthwhile movement, a big compound movement, and hammer it. Maybe do that with 2, maybe 3 movements, and hammer the shit out of them for an hour and a half, and then leave the gym. What happens is, I think it takes a lot longer for people to get warmed up than they think. And by the time they're warmed up, they're done with their working sets. And now they gotta strip the bar, go on to the next movement, warm that movement up, change their mind, change their mental acuity onto something else. So what I've started to do with them is, my favorite movements for jiu-jitsu and just general strength. This would be my big 3 right here. Okay, you ready? First, front squat. Second, pull-ups or weighted pull-ups. Third, dips or weighted dips. Those are my big 3. Those are so all-encompassing as far as total body strength and really good for hypertrophy as well. What I do with them, let's say a front squat session. So we'll probably warm up for like 10 minutes. Start front squatting, and we might front squat for a half an hour straight. Okay? If the goal is leg strength and hip strength and core strength, I can get that through use of the front squat with a lot of volume, different types of tempos, different rest periods. I can do that while keeping them mentally engaged. Once we get into that later portion of the front squat workout, you can see the energy changes on them. They're not dragging ass anymore. They're like fired up. It's like they're actually training now. What would happen otherwise is I would take them, they would do some front squats, they would just about get fired up, and then I go, okay guys, next movement. And then they all calm down and they kind of start dragging ass again. So I do this with my own training, because now I'm getting to the point where I get into the gym and I drag ass and I don't know what I want to do. I can't do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 exercises. I have to pick 1 or 2 or 3 big compound movements and hammer the ever-loving shit out of them. That's what this program is. On my Patreon, it is so bare bones. It's 3 exercises, 3 days a week, and it works. It will work. All you have to do is just stay focused on what you're doing, the movement that you're doing, and do it long enough so that you can make gains, not just switch from exercise to exercise. As you guys can see in this video, this is one of the upper body workouts that I have programmed on the Patreon. And all it is, building to a heavy single in the strict press, then doing 3 sets of 5 drop sets in the strict press, and then immediately on the 3rd set of 5, stripping it down and doing a set of 10. Okay, then I move on to the next one, which is pull-ups. Pull-ups there, I build to a single weighted pull-up, a heavy single. Then I do 3 sets of 5. Immediately after that 3rd set of 5, I take the weight off of my belt, and I actually added in a band because my arms were destroyed. I tried to do 10 reps, and I think I can only get like 4 reps, but you get the idea. This is written on my program on my Patreon. Finally, I just did 5 sets of 10 on the dumbbell bench. That was my entire workout, and it for me works perfectly. I stay mentally sharp the entire time. Had I gone on to another movement and another movement for each one of those muscle groups, I don't know if I would have been able to stay as mentally sharp. So that's really the idea, guys. Try and find your movements that you think you can make the best gains and actually do them for an extended period of time. That's all I have for you. I'll see you in the next one.